I just wanted to say before I get into the next slides that we're on a trend downward, and I think in terms of line of duty deaths, starting back from 21, where we had a high of 65 in 2021, 22 was 51, 23 was 45. And right now we're right around 35 with a month and a half left. So just to remind everyone of the importance of the National TIM Responder Training. It's not the magic bullet or, be all end all to the problem that are really the D drivers, the drunks, the distracted, the drugged, the drowsy. But I'm hoping that we end up in 2024 under 45. So let's everyone do our part and promote the TIM training. So thank you for letting me share that. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the Everyday Counts 7. Next Gen TIM, Technologies for Saving Lives, of which TIM, you heard me earlier, TIM is part of the National Roadway Safety Strategy, Safe Systems Approach, Post-Crash Care for EMS, our office, Federal Highway, working alongside the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, NHTSA, who were mandated under the NRSS to achieve certain improvements that are depicted here in this graphic, as you can see. And we're very much a part of it. That training that you heard Brian Webb from the state of Alaska EMS mention, and an overall strong initiative to train in particular the EMS community, paramedics and EMTs, clinicians, etc., on traffic incident management, along with all the other responders, right? Law enforcement, fire, rescue, tow and recovery, public works, and transportation. So next slide. Here to the right, need I say these out loud? These should all make sense and come to all of you. Strong TIM programs that exist in most states, I'd say a majority of states across the nation, involve not just the training, but also intelligent transportation systems and other technologies and resources. These 6 focus areas, as I mentioned, that are part of the EDC 7 Next Gen TIM, these are the ones that we're working on right now with 40 states, actually 40 states that signed up to do some level of work, I guess, focus on at least one of these technologies, and more importantly, to advance from the level of not implemented all the way up to institutionalization. So we've been working very hard, and this is the second year of this 2-year project, by the way, for EDC 7 Next Gen TIM. And real quick now, next slide. Technology advanced warning is one of them. And you can see what advanced warning includes. Any one of these 6 areas: responder to vehicle alerts. You've heard of the Haas alerts and Make Way and ICONE. You probably heard of the commercial vehicle electronic logging devices and the work of the association of those devices with DriveWise, which is an electronic in-cab system to alert commercial motor vehicle operators of upcoming congestion, and hopefully, and it has other capabilities, but one of the big ones is advanced warning of congestion. Wearable devices like the what is it called? Oh gosh, I forget the name of the device now that you wear on your lapel. That you thank you, Paul. Guardian Angel device, sequential flares, the electronic highlights, and um, uh, anyway, rotating message boards and arrow panels, which you might think, well, wait a minute, haven't those been around forever? And the answer is no. Fully rotational message boards and arrow panels on a truck is a big deal because the truck doesn't have to be perfectly oriented. And of course, enhanced traveler information. A big favorite of mine, back to now go ahead, go to the next slide, debris removal. A big favorite of mine, and Paul and Joe, and I'm sure many of you that are on here that are familiar with the technology that is debris removal systems. Here's 4 examples of those technologies, and you got debris clear, you got jaws, you got lane blade, and what else? There's a couple others. You'll have to forgive my my senior moments occasionally here. Anyway, big deal because this prevents a driver from having to get out of a vehicle to remove a ladder or some other type of debris. So these types of systems are really taking off across the nation, and are worth every penny that of their cost. So next slide, or yeah, next slide. Next technology, smart emergency vehicle lighting. I saw that Master Sergeant Tom Brengel's on with us today from Illinois, who has been a huge advocate for the Illinois State Police and involved in smart emergency vehicle lighting, as we are, because it really makes a difference as response agencies are able to retrofit or order new vehicles with the technology, the smart emergency vehicle lighting technology. Next slide. Emergency vehicle preemption, which has been around for 20 plus years, but today there's a much higher level, more sophisticated system that's available, that's out there, that some states are using, municipalities, that include the I guess the integration of traffic management centers with the traffic signal sensors and the cloud-based systems for emergency response. Next slide. You've heard mentioned today several times, Jennifer Kirkland mentioned it earlier, the use of unmanned aerial systems or unmanned aerial aircraft vehicles is a big deal, being used quite a bit for not only crash reconstruction purposes by law enforcement, but also by for a variety of other purposes, for congestion management and queue management, queue warning, and obviously other natural disasters, for monitoring weather events and doing infrastructure, what I call asset management inspections for bridges, etc. So Tim, UAS is still very much alive and will be, I'm sure, for a long time. Next slide. So you heard me mention already the TIM technologies for EMS to support post-crash care, and that is high on our list, and we're working very hard with a number of states, and you will hear more about this as we continue to move the ball down the road. what Brian Webb did in Alaska through his Department of Health. I believe it's our fourth or fifth state that has actually done what he's done, which is quickly move to mandate or require the TIM training for licensing or relicensing purposes. And we very much encourage any of you, if you have that influence and that ability to influence your leadership, please do so and let us know how we can help. Next slide. This is a little bit about the funding. Many of you, I'm sure, on this webinar are familiar with two of the main ones that Paul, Joe, and I in our office promotes, which is the stick funding there, which is up to $125,000 a year every year that states can apply for. And I will tell you that in 2024, I think we had close to 15 states. We had a huge jump in the number of states that finally, took advantage of this. You don't have to apply for all 125. Some of them are using it for equipment. Some of it even, some states even use the funding to purchase debris removal systems. So there's opportunities there. That is not a huge lift, but every year it comes out, and your state, working with your state stick point of contact through the Federal Highway division office, you can accomplish that. Similarly, for a lot more money, if you want to pursue a bigger deployment of a technology, if you will, and these have to be proven technologies. They can't be research related. These have to be technologies or equipment, what have you, that are already in use, by the way. And the aid demonstration program funds up to $1 million, a little bit heavier lift, but I'm happy to report that, for example, Arkansas managed to get approved to purchase debris removal systems to use statewide, and deploying one in each of their maintenance yards. And I think there's a couple of others. I know Delaware was applying for funding. I know the state of Pennsylvania applied for funding for, I believe, their ATMS system, expansion of their ATMS in the state. So take advantage of these, and there's a link down there at the bottom. And again, Paul, Joe, or I are here willing to help you. Next slide.